McCombs gave me a very good scholarship,
Okay.
and I talked to a lot of before like joining or taking the decision to join. I talked to a lot of people who went to UT, who went to McCombs, and I got a very good feeling about the program. Year is pretty intensive. They will keep telling this to you from the beginning, but you should know this. When you're applying, know that you are sacrificing at least from August to January of your life. Bain, McKinsey, BCG, Strategy, and AT&T. We visited so many companies, and the people we are visiting there are like principals and VPs, and like it's pretty crazy. All the consulting firms will come, they'll give their presentation, and then they'll have these networking sessions where you will get to talk to these consultants and try to kind of understand their work and how. For that journey to start, you need to have you need to have a good start point, and Nirvan helped me very well with that, and I'm sure he'll help you guys out too very well with that.
Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Jeet Chaudhary. Jeet and me, we worked last year together for a few of his applications. I think a couple of them we worked together. And one of them that he landed in was McCombs. He is currently doing his MBA from McCombs class of 26. And I have invited him specially to share more about his application journey, but also more about his experiences at McCombs and of course the lovely background that we can see right now behind him, maybe a little bit about the view and the location as well. But let me just hand it over to Jeet, if you can just quickly walk us through your background a little bit, help us with your pre-MBA work experience, academic experience, everything
Yeah.
that even your career goals at that point in time, and maybe we
Yeah.
can just take it up from there.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Jeet. And so, to give you a little bit of a background first, so I did my engineering from MNIT Jaipur, and that was in chemical engineering. And like a typical chemical engineer, I realized that hey, I don't want to work in a plant, so started like exploring more of analytics roles, and that's how I started. And I started at ZS Associates.
Wow, okay.
So it was interesting. It's a like got the first hand taste of what consulting is,
Mhm.
and yeah, started getting into US healthcare. Started working in market research, and eventually I got like more and more interested in this analytics and AI space. So started exploring there.
Mhm.
Moved on to a startup called Ola because I wanted to explore out of healthcare. Like I was getting too much into healthcare.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the time I moved into Ola was March of 2020. It was just when like COVID hit, and like the Ola services shut down when I joined, and like we had to build a whole this Ola emergency services, and I worked as a business analyst there, like kind of handling all the operations for Mumbai, Pune, Nasik, all the West region. So that was an interesting experience. But while working there, I realized that hey, healthcare is something I'm really interested in. So I got another opportunity where some of the consultants I was working with at GS like came back to me and said, "Hey, we have some clients with us. We are starting this firm. So can you join with us? We need some help with analytics." So took the leap of faith. Was always interested in working with good people and joined them. Worked as a data science consultant for 4 years with a firm called Speckle Solutions.
Mhm.
We grew the firm from 5 people to right now it's 30 people, both in Pune and LA.
Mhm.
Got to work with a lot of pharma clients. Again, like, but on a lot more interesting projects. I worked in marketing analytics. I worked with a lot of pharma brands, particularly on like working with them on their go-to-market strategies, working with them on how to align the sales force and things. So it was pretty interesting. It was very challenging. It was the first time I like actively managed bigger teams, and also it was the first time like I actually got to manage clients. Like I visited on site, presented my findings,
Mhm.
managed a team of analysts rather than doing all the work myself. So like kind of realized what being a manager is, because till that point in my career I was always seen, like I always considered myself as a very technical person doing a lot of hands-on work. So yeah, so that's when I kind of realized that hey, it's very different being an expert or specialist in something,
Mhm.
but being able to being able to transfer what I need into and getting that work done from a team is very different. So that's when I realized that hey, I want to learn more in this. Maybe I'm going into niche into healthcare, but I want to explore industries out of it.
Mhm.
And when I went to the US actually for the first time, that's when I talked to the people there, when I talked to the consultants there, I realized that hey, the perspective that the people have here is very different. Like from how we see consulting work in India. Like in here, consulting work is much human, is much more seen as you are partnering with your clients to work with them and kind of support them throughout. It's not just about the numbers that we give. And I realized that, and I wanted to kind of then felt like, hey, I want to explore this side of the career as well. And that's when I contacted Nirvan when I was I was in the US. I was working with a client, and I realized that hey, let me explore this MBA thing once again, and that's when I contacted Nirvan, and he helped me out a lot with like shortening down the list of schools, because I was looking I went with work experience, right? So I was not looking for so I was looking for particular schools where I knew that hey, if I have experience and where I want to go match, then those are the kind of schools I want to hit. And realistic, like that's the first question I think I'd ask Nirvan, hey, is this are these schools realistic for me or not? And I think that's very important while shortlisting schools. And like it's okay not to be like brilliant, or like not to target every school. Not every school will fit your personality. Like you have to find schools that fit your personality. For me, because I was working mostly with West Coast clients and had lived in LA,
Mhm.
and once I had come to New York for my internship to Cornell while I was doing my undergrad. I had seen Cornell, it was in Ithaca. It's a beautiful school, but I'd seen that it's not in the city, and I didn't like. I always wanted to be in a very vibrant city when I wanted to do an MBA. That's why the kind of schools I was looking for, and I told Nirvan, was like UCLA, USC, and even Macomb because of Austin. So I was looking more at cities
Mhm.
and some kind of if they have some kind of healthcare and consulting background, because that's something I wanted to explore more. And yeah, that's how my journey went. That's how I started applying to schools, and yeah, that's my background.
Interesting. Interesting. You know, I see a lot of people, especially from consulting, and of course, ES is one of the firms, sort of the feeder, firms into the B schools these days, are looking to
Yeah,
get into an MBA degree and are looking to
yeah.
explore that. Tell me, what were your goals coming into the B school program? What were you really looking to achieve from this?
So for me, I had two goals. One goal was what I want to do in my career. Second goal was what I want to explore outside my career.
Mhm.
For my career also, I decided I decided. So to be very honest, I'll talk very practically. I thought very practically. I had consulting I have consulting background, so yes, I want to explore like what kind of strategy roles are there in consulting.
Mhm.
Like I was doing very like technical consulting, so I want to explore kind of more strategy consulting.
Mhm.
And secondly, I also want to kind of explore roles in organizations. Like I realized that the kind of work I was doing is kind of doing marketing for a brand, and that skill I realized coming here is a skill that is that is good, that is important, and it's not only important in healthcare but
Mhm.
also important in other industries. So that's why I'm also exploring like product marketing roles, brand marketing roles, brand management roles. So like I'm interested in I'm looking into retail, like Walmart, Whole Foods, companies like this. I'm looking into healthcare firms. So I realized that find a niche, and definitely there are jobs out there who are looking for that niche. So I'm kind of targeting those kind of marketing roles. And out of that, and that was one thing I wanted to do. Like I came to an MBA with an open mind, saying that hey, I want to explore, I want to find out and kind of explore what is this whole strategy roles that are out there. And I found out, hey, I used to do this kind of work. I have a skill, and there are like I can use those skills that I used to do in ZS in better and bigger places, and like kind of show those skills there, and people will appreciate that. So that was one. And out of the college is out of my career, I want to try out entrepreneurship, because I had a passion for like building blogs and websites and things like that. So um there's so many opportunities here. If you just have an idea and want to start something, it's blowing my mind. Once I came here, like literally when I entered the MBA building, the first for the first room on the right side is like Texas Venture Labs,
Okay.
which is which any MBA student can literally like walk into. There are people there you can talk to, and they'll help you out with your idea. It's like that amazing. And apart from just text, like they keep doing, they have curriculums, they have programs like Texas Venture Lab Practiculum, in which you can apply to it, and you get to work with a UT startup
Okay.
for like 2 semesters. And and the startup will be either pre-seed, so you'll help them get seed funding, or they'll be just pre-growth, so you'll be help them with like Series A or Series B. So that is one thing. Even if you don't have an idea, you have opportunities to work with startups on campus. And even if you have ideas, they help you like support you for grants. And even if you want some students to work on with you on a project, you can like they'll help you connect with them. So it's a pretty amazing environment in UT if you really are passionate about building a business or entrepreneurship, or even like venture capital. Like there's an amazing fellows program called Venture Fellows, where you can get into. And where like it's a competitive program, but you can get in. If you get into it, you get to like intern with VC firms directly out of an MBA, which is very unique. Usually typically VC firms don't hire very easily from MBA programs, or like without experience, but here they do. So yeah, that's pretty amazing, I would say, in an MBA, that it it gives the tag that you're an MBA student opens a lot of doors for you, and I want to use that. That's it.
Definitely, definitely. And I want to come back more about the Macom's experience, but I just want to take a step back here and talk about, the career goals that you mentioned, right? So you talked about how you wanted to explore strategy roles and how you were also looking at entrepreneurship in a way. Again, a very practical question. Is this what you put down in your application, or did you have a more practical approach to your application? How did you
Yep.
finish?
Yep. In my application, I had a more practical approach, like in the sense that I knew that I wanted to, I was going into healthcare consulting, and I wanted to move out of healthcare consulting and explore more strategy roles within healthcare. So that was kind of my story that I had written in the application. So yeah, like in the application, I would say it is very very important that you have a coherent story, that why you are applying to an MBA. Like for me it was that hey, I am interested in healthcare. I have been working in consulting for a long time. I have been working in this particular space in consulting for a long time. Now I want to explore, now I want to move away from consulting. I want to explore strategy roles within healthcare, like the kind of clients I was working with, the kind of people who I was working with. I want to. I know that I have some gaps in me to go there, and that's what I want to like. I want to bridge in my MBA. That was the story I went with, and obviously, every MBA admissions person who is reading it, including like even us who read the who see the video assessments, we
Hmm.
know that the plan you are coming with is not your end, is not the end. Like everyone in MBA comes with a plan and and like kind of explores their careers here. It's fine, but when you're coming to an MBA, you need to have a coherent story that hey, this is what motivated me to do an MBA, and this is why I've come to do an MBA, and this is how the MBA will help me to get there. It's fine if your story changes over time. Mine changed in, like, you see how I came into my MBA with one story, and right now I am recruiting with another story, and that's completely fine. That's what MBA is here for. That's what they literally, that's what the first session is about, that hey, what's your goal, and then eventually that goal keeps on evolving, and that journey you will have in our MBA. But for that journey to start, you need to have you need to have a good start point, and Nirvan helped me very well with that, and I'm sure he'll help you guys out too very well with that too.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for for your kind words, Jeet. But coming back to your application strategy, how many schools did you apply to overall? Did you have a number in terms of that? I am going to hedge my bets and I'll apply to more schools. How did you go about it?
Yes, so I did. I think I applied to like 5 schools in round one. So I hedge my bets by like which are the most probable schools I think I can get into, which are ambitious and which are like which are much more easier to get into. So I think I in the first round I applied to 5 schools: UNC, UCLA, USC, Macooms, and Georgia Tech. Yeah, I think I applied to 5. Georgia Tech, I because I had a free, it was free for me, and I was like, I wanted to go there for masters before, so that's why I wanted to apply there. USC and UCLA were my target schools because I was working in LA, and I wanted to go back to that city. I liked it. Macooms because I liked Austin, and in the rankings also it was doing pretty good.
Hmm.
UNC because it was a very healthcare focused school. And I know a lot of GSers who went to UNC and are at good places.
Right.
So yeah, Nirvan also helped me out a lot in this, to be honest. Like at in first go, I just listed down school based on rankings and the schools that I thought had a good healthcare background, and then Nirvan gave me a little bit of background to on the schools, and that helped me kickstart a little bit of my own research into it. And the research I how I shortlisted schools very practically was I went to LinkedIn, and the companies that I was targeting, like at that point I was targeting companies like, say, I pick up a company like Gin and Tech because it's a very good biopharma firm. I know it has a good leadership development program. It's a good firm.
Hmm.
I go on LinkedIn. I open up whatever the company I'm looking for, and I see that and my target schools, and I see that hey, I have my target school people have gone to an MBA internship program there, or has anyone done an MBA intern there. So if someone has done an MBA intern there, it's likely that that school is a target school for that company. So
Right.
that gives you at least a start to to have a baseline that hey, my school is good enough that hey, this company which I want to go to comes to this, and then start exploring more about the culture. And culture, I mean, not only that hey, are the people nice, and that is important, and that will come to you at a later stage, but more about does 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 the city where you will live, does the opportunities at the place, at the college that you're going to match with what you want to do. Not every college is known for like tech and venture capital. Not every college is known for like every college has something it is known for. So try to fit yourself with that. But for a starting point, at least from a career perspective, very practically, think about where you want to go and does that college get that. If, for consulting, if you want MBBs, not every school, not every school is a target school for MBBs. So start from there and then start listing that, hey, is this a good shot for me, not a good shot for me. Start contacting people from there, start getting a sense of how the place is, and go from there.
Got it. I think it's a great practical tip to leverage LinkedIn in a way to understand, how you
Yeah,
can target your companies and which schools are really good. I think it's a good starting point, and then maybe you
yeah,
can dive from there. So, Jeet, I think you got into McCombs in R1 itself, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, yeah.
So, did you apply to more schools in R2, or was that it for you?
I did apply to two more schools. I applied to Cornell, I applied to Duke,
Okay.
and that's it. Because to be very honest, McCombs gave me a very good scholarship,
Okay.
and I talked to a lot of before like joining or taking the decision to join. I talked to a lot of people who went to UT, who went to McCombs, and I got a very good feeling about the program.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I didn't feel anyone else would give me like such a scholarship, and I was ready to quit my job. Like
Perfect.
I had planned this out. I had planned to get in round one. I was happy. I was very happy with McCombs. I was very happy with the scholarship. So yeah,
Got it.
it was more a practical choice for me. It was more a practical and good city choice for me. Like, my best friend went to UT for masters.
Okay.
So whenever we used to meet, he used to talk all about UT, and like it turns out that I also went to the same school now. So it's pretty awesome.
Amazing, amazing. Which brings me to my sort of next question, which is if let's say someone is applying to McCombs today, what are your tips or insights? What is McCombs looking for in a student? How would
Yeah,
you ask them to go about their application?
yeah. Yeah, so this is very important, and I actually talk. We all talk a lot about this because we see a lot of these application videos,
Mhm.
and a lot of people are reaching out to kind of talk about, hey, what's important in the application, this that. So I think one thing which makes students stand out is again the same thing which I said before, having a very clear story. So I'll tell you what MBA is looking for. MBA is looking for people who are driven. Okay, Makums is looking for people who are very driven. They want to see that, hey, if I put this person in front of anyone, like if I put this person in front of anyone, and he can have a conversation with that person for 2 minutes for sure.
Hmm.
So one, you have to be very natural. You have to be able to hold a conversation,
Mhm.
and two, you need to have a very personal story,
Hmm.
because what makes you unique is important. There are thousands of people who will come with like similar background as you, which is very unfortunate because we live in a country like India where there are so many people who are doing similar things. It's a numbers game, I think.
True.
But what makes you unique is very important. And again, Nirvan tells this perfectly during his process. Like, what were you doing? What were you doing? And what do you want to do? The gap between that is your MBA, and you need to show that hey, I was motivated to do an MBA because of I did this. I know I have a gap. Now I want to do an MBA to fill that gap, and I know Makums is the best place to do this. And why, how do you show this journey? Like, how do you create this for Makums? And what Makums is looking for is, look into what Makums is known for. Look into what Austin is known for. Makums and Austin and Texas are like, they're very proud. Like, this is a great school. This is a great place. Like, people here, anyone you tell that, hey, I went to UT, you
Hmm.
get instant respect. Like, it's that prestigious here. So, like, kind of look into what Austin is known for. Austin is known for tech. Macombs is also has a very unique thing about clean tech because we have a lot of like energy projects, like because Texas has a lot of energy companies, like most of the energy is from here, so that is very important. A lot of electric clean tech again involves a lot of electric mobility and sustainability, carbon things, like everything. Sustainability is very is a very good topic right now in Macombs. um third third I would say is, yeah, venture capital, tech, AI. If you're really interested in it,
Mhm.
Austin is an awesome city. Austin hosts just hosted Austin Tech Week. There is South by Southwest, which happens like which happens next year. So VC and tech is very good here. There's a lot of work going on. Tesla is bringing everything here. So it's a very very exciting time in Texas. So write about that. Write about us. Make it personal about make it more personal about, hey, I'm very excited. I know about Austin. I know about this city. I want to be part of that city. So that is very important. And another thing you can add is and which is very important in the US. I'll add this is, have personal interests, have something other than your work. People are not going to talk to you about work when you come here. Work is the last thing which is going to come up in your resume. So for
Mhm.
your work you will only have 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds is all you have to pitch your work. Have have interests outside work. Try to connect your, like, try to add that flavor in your application as well, that hey, I am a person outside work. Like I do this, I do that. I think that helped me out a lot as well, like having that extracurricular skill. And I mentioned that in my like in the video interview as well, and I realized that is something they look for as well. Like if you're done, even if it's not something extracurricular, volunteer work or any work that you've done outside which makes you sound more human than just a consultant, have that on your resume. That is very important. And if Austin is known for live music. Austin is known for sports. Sports is insane here. Sports is something which is also growing. If you're interested in sports, entertainment, media, Austin is also a very good place to be for that. So that is also something you can look into. Yeah. That's it. Like, make it personal. Give the candidate who is watching, make it interesting for the person who's watching. Very honestly, it's students watching. First of all, whatever videos you're submitting, it's first the students watching.
Okay.
We are given an assessment sheet. We put down how we feel about it, and then it goes ahead, and then there's a complete 360 application that's seen. But if you are like, whatever, at least the video interview you're doing, like, make it interesting, make it human, make it like I'm talking to you and you're talking to me. Don't make it sound like you're giving an answer.
Got it. I think these were some really great insights, Jeet, on the entire application piece. Thank you so much for sharing that. Coming to the interview piece as well, Macooms have this option where you can do an optional interview with a student, right? And
Yes.
I've seen so many. I mean, I have had a few people applying in R1. All of them went for the optional one because I definitely pushed them to do it as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the importance of that. How important is it to do an interview, and how do Macooms take that as an assessment, or how do they judge students out of that?
To be very honest, take it. No other. I won't give any other here like consultant answer. Just take it. It's I don't exactly know how they take it as an assessment, but it's a touch point for sure, and it's a very good touch point. Because it's a you can show that you have done research. It's a touch. You get to talk to a student, and if the student likes you, they can, like, when they're discussing your application, they can root for you. um you should not do it. Like, it's a very obvious thing that you should do it. They're just testing. It's just a test. They put it optional just to test it, that hey, are you interested enough to take that effort to apply to Makums. But you should take it. Yes, it's very, and the way they are writing it also, it's highly optional but highly recommended. It's
Hmm.
just to see that, hey, are you it's just to, like, see that you do you really want Makums or not, or is it just another application you're putting in?
Got it, got it. So this brings me to the most exciting piece, the one that I am most excited about, is your experience at McCombs. Okay, so you've already talked a little bit about this, but
Yeah.
help us understand how was it when you first entered the campus? What was the feeling like? How has been the last few months like for you, for maybe your friends at McCombs? Just walk us through it all.
Sure. Where do I start? It's been so long. Okay, so yeah, I came in August. The first week was pretty overwhelming and exciting at the same time.
Mhm.
The Makums class, I realized, is smaller than my some of my peers joined Oxford. I know one who joined Kellogg. One of them is studying in MIT Sloan. So I know I am connected with peers who are doing MBA. So I realized Makum's class is smaller and much more intimate in that way. It's 240 people,
Okay.
and the first day was amazing. Like the building, they have a new building. So
Mhm.
and it's like in the campus is like it it's in one part of the campus, and it's a new building. It's an awesome building. Like it's the best building on the UT campus right now. It's and every, like, you can see grad students trying to come into our building to just come and study, sit and study. So yeah,
Okay.
MBA students are the envy of the campus here at
Got
Makum. So if you come in here, that's something you should know. And yeah, building is awesome. Facilities are like insane. I never imagined it could be anything better than this. The most surprising part to me, to be very honest, was how nice the people are. Like, I've worked with people from other countries, like people from the US before.
it.
So I felt that okay, it won't be that difficult for me to fit in. But when I went there, there were people from all different countries, and it's pretty overwhelming when you just get in, and there are so many people who are as accomplished. It's that it's everyone here has come with experience. Everyone here has come with so many unique stories that
Mhm.
then I felt that, hey, yeah, man, I had a story as well, and I could build my story even better.
Mhm.
So that was pretty amazing. The first day I went into, we just sat in an auditorium. They welcomed us. They gave us an they had invited over many, like, alumni who had gone to different places. Um, Gave us a lot of goodies, which is always a good part. Yeah, basically the first whole week is like orientation week, where they more try to kind of try to look more into what you want to do, and then there are these sessions which kind of help you explore that, hey, this is what you want to do in your career. And that's what I was talking about. They help you more understand your own journey better, and try to help you explore yourself better in the beginning of the program.
Got it.
And that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. And you realize that, hey, you are in a that's what and you realize that you're in a pool. Like, my peers, like the study group I work with, like, we are the whole 240 people are first divided into four cohorts, and then those four cohorts are then again divided into five or six people who form a study group, and you will study with that group throughout, like, the semester.
Okay.
So you get to know those five six people pretty well, and then you take classes with the other people, which is your cohort, which is like 50 60 students. So you know those guys also pretty well because you're taking classes with them.
Mhm.
And the other cohorts, you kind of interact with them throughout the day through other activities. So I know almost all my 240, like, classmates now. It's that close of a program. Like, that's the difference I felt in Makums. Like, it's a very 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 people centric program. They made it in such a way that some or the other way you'll interact with everyone. And the way they divide these cohorts also, they divide it like everyone is from mixed background, from mixed nationalities. So it's pretty amazing. Like, I have one guy from private equity. I have one guy who was a opera singer for 6 years. who has
Wow.
come to do an MBA now. Then like so it's like that part I found pretty cool about Makums and in general about MBA. And yeah, so that was more of my first 2 weeks, like kind of just meeting people,
Mhm.
getting to know people. Oh, and that time we had a bars party. So Austin is known for like it's a beautiful city. There's a river which flows right through, and summertime in Austin is like crazy. There's like every parties going on the river. So MBA has its own events. Like every event which there's a huge event which UT does, and there's this one very awesome event which then MBA guys will also do.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the MBA life is awesome. So you'll start with the bars party. Then you will know that hey, football is something which is very big here, and that's when then the football weekend start. And like we had a football weekend yesterday.
Mhm.
Texas played Florida, and it is insane. There's tailgate party which happens before the football game. So you go there in the day
Mhm.
and get drunk before the match. Then you try to get tickets to the match. You don't get it. You go to some place, watch with everyone, and yeah. So that whole football thing happens every weekend. So that's
Mhm.
another part.
Okay.
And apart from that, then there's Diwali, Halloween, this, that. So social events is something which is there. But I'll also say that these social events is actually very important. Like it's not just fun, but it's where I built most of my good relationship with seniors as well.
Okay.
And so I would say that in as much as it is important to work, it's also important to enjoy and be more social, because that's what you came to do in an MBA. And people have amazing stories here, so you can just go out and talk to anyone. And and another thing about very nice about my experience is this whole thing about coffee chats. Like
Okay.
as an MBA student, you can ask anyone, like literally anyone, and just say that, hey, can you talk to me for 15 minutes over a call, and they'll accept it because it's a culture here.
Okay.
So you can talk to any second year. You can talk to anyone from any company who has worked there, because they know that MBA students are exploring careers and are interested in exploring roles. So everyone is very and getting into an MBA program itself is a very prestigious thing, which I didn't realize until like last week when a recruiter told us this, that hey, you have got into Makums, that itself says something about you.
Mm.
Now it's the next step is where what you need to prove to us. That's what the recruiters tell us. And yeah, what I was talking about is like the coffee chats and this whole networking thing. So people here are very anyone who has gone to Makums or has gone to UT
Mm.
is very, very, very nice and very, very, very open and always willing to help out. And that is very amazing. Like I you can literally email anyone and say, hey, do you have 15 minutes, and they'll definitely talk to you.
Wow.
And the kind of people I've gotten to talk to through even just through recruiting is pretty cool. Like we went to a Dallas trek last week, where we visited the all the consulting offices like Bain, McKinsey, BCG, Strategy, and AT&T. We visited so many companies, and the people we are visiting there are like principals and VPs, and like it's
Wow.
pretty crazy. And like even just to get to talk to them, they and they are humans, man. You can talk to them, and it's once you talk to them, and once you talk to these people, it opens it for me, at least it opened a barrier where I used to always feel that hey, I am I used to have this barrier about talking to random people, but
Mm.
now I feel that MBA is changing that in me a lot. So that is one thing which is pretty awesome and pretty cool if you get into an MBA program, that it opens a lot of opportunities. It only depends on you and what you want to do and what opportunities you want to take. So that was pretty cool. So social life is awesome. The opportunities you will get is awesome, and now I'll tell you the tough part. Okay,
Okay.
so I came into an MBA thinking that hey, I was working pretty hard. I can't be working harder than this. It's not the case. I can be, and I am right now, because
Definitely.
you have to handle too many things at once. And if you're thinking coming that hey, I can take a break from work for 2 years, it's not a break from work for 2 years. The first year is pretty intensive. They will keep telling this to you from the beginning, but you should know this. When you're applying, know that you are sacrificing at least from August to January of your life, for sure. You won't have time to do, and I'm talking very practically. I don't think anyone will tell you all this to your face, but I will, because I didn't know this. You'll have to handle getting trying to figure out your career, trying to be social, try to do you will feel like doing everything because everything is looking exciting,
Hmm.
but you also have to recruit, and recruitment in the US is very different from recruitment in the India.
Hmm.
It's not that you just put your resume and if you're qualified enough, you get the job. At least not for MBA. For MBA, it's a very specialized. The jobs are specialized. The recruitment is specialized. It's a very long process. It's a very human process. You have to talk to a lot of people. They don't want people who are just good at what they do. They want people who they can hang out with as well. So you have to create that kind of bond with people, which takes a lot of time. So that is a hard part of MBA you should know about before you join as well. Like it will take away time from your life, but it will all be worth it eventually. Bec- um, but you need to know how to prioritize and what you want to do very clearly, so that you can go through this phase of MBA, and then you can I think what the second years have told me is then you can enjoy a lot.
Got it. Got it. And speaking about recruitment, right? You mentioned how helpful people are, right? You can just email them for a coffee chat and they'll come and help you out. How helpful is the Macooms system, the career services? Are
Very
they
good.
proactive as well?
Yes. Yes, Makum system is helpful. I would say recently our career team has become very active. They have recruited. So I'll tell you how the thing works. So there is a separate whole team called career team, and there is a career, like when I enter the building, the first floor, the first office is there's an MBA office, and there are like career teams all there. So the kind of resources you have for recruiting, one is this career team,
Hmm.
who and their role is one, they con there's a portal called Recruit Makums,
Okay.
which is the companies which Makums and UT has very good relationships with. Okay.
Okay.
And some of the companies that the career team has relationships with post their jobs directly on Recruit Makums as well. And the career team manages this Recruit Makums portal. So
Mhm.
that is one, like that is the most important thing that they do, is manage kind of relationship with the companies. But
Okay.
apart from that, that is from the student side. They so anytime you have any questions, you want to get your resume reviewed, you want to just talk to someone. Some of them have been recruiters, so you can literally go out to them and say, "Hey, if you were a recruiter, would you take me for this job?" Like I went there last week and just told one of them there that, "Hey, just tell me if this is good enough for this job or not." So they are pretty helpful, and they are very accessible. But know that that's not that it's a resource. It's not the end. It's not that they will help you get a job.
Okay.
It's a very good resource, and but apart from that, you also need to apply on your own. Like you
Okay.
need to put effort. There are other companies reaching out as well,
Okay.
and the Makum's career team also helps out in organizing these info sessions. So a lot of companies come on campus
Okay.
to hold like info sessions and networking sessions. So all the consulting firms will come, they'll give their presentation, and then they'll have these networking sessions where You will get to talk to these consultants and try to kind of understand their work and how you fit in. That's what I was talking about, the networking part, where it is very important to be human. So there's the part where you try to connect to people. So for all that also, career team prepares you. They have a course structure which goes on throughout the semester. So you get prepared on kind of how to do networking, how to make your pitch. So there's a whole structured way of going through that, and they will keep on helping you out till your interview. So that's pretty good. But the most important resource is your second years again. There's a club called Graduate Consulting Group, which will help you throughout your consulting experience. There's a tech club, which if you want to recruit for tech, they'll help you out with tech recruiting. But second years are your most important resource, is what we say in Makums. Like second years are so helpful that you can reach out to them anytime, and they have applied and they've been through the same journey, so they help out a lot. Yeah. So
Got
Makums has a lot of resources. The UT the Recruit Makums portal is an amazing resource. MBBs come directly on our campus and hold recruiting sessions and networking sessions. We visit their Austin offices as well. So some companies we have very good. Dell we have very good relationships with because it came out of UT. So some companies we have very good relationships with, and but some others you have to apply outside as well, and you have many opportunities outside.
Got it. You mentioned something very interesting here, which is the role of a second year into helping first year students. Do you also
Yeah.
interact frequently with them outside of the recruiting process as well? I mean, just to
Yeah.
maybe through clubs, maybe through something else. How does that?
Yeah, for sure. Like second years are the ones like keeping us, like helping us throughout our journey for sure. Like, anytime I am like stressed or like just worried about, hey, I have a deadline tomorrow. There's an assignment due. Do you know if this prof grades properly or not? Second years, like anything you need, second years are always there, and they're pretty good. And like in general in MBA you will realize that hey, it's all about helping people out. Because someone helped them out, they are helping us out, and now I will feel good and I'll help my first years out, and that carries out throughout the career. Like someone who is like 10 years out in Makum still remembers who was their like peer, who was their mentor, or which cohort were they in, and who helped them out. So that's the kind of relationships. And I really feel that from the moment I came here, that's something people had told me about, but I realized that a lot here. Like they pair you up with a second year to help you with your resume. They pair you up with a second year to help you with your career stuff. But apart from that also, there's so like you will eventually, everyone finds kind of people that they gel with. It can be someone who has similar background, it can be someone who is Indian. It's fine. Like we all the Indians here also help each other out for sure. So it's a very close knit community. And one reason I feel that this happens is in MBA everyone comes from a different background. So you're kind of not competing with each other, because everyone has a unique story. Like I am very different from my roommate who is a designer from Taiwan. Like I we have different stories, we are doing different things, so we kind of help each other out. We kind of run stories through each other. So yeah, it's how you survive.
Got it. And one thing you mentioned here, which was again interesting, was about grades, right? So if I,
Yeah.
talk about my experience at ISB, grades were like super important, at least pre-placement. Okay, but I think that's more of an Indian culture, and everyone was extremely competitive about getting good grades. How is
Yeah.
the academic environment at McCombs? Walk us through
um okay, so it doesn't matter, right?
that. Okay,
Like
I imagine that. Yeah.
if you if you want to go, but yeah, with a caveat. Like for me, because I want to go into consulting, or like if I want to go even into strategy roles, there's a this what is it called, sorry, academic discretionary policy,
Mhm.
in which they don't give out the grades to the company. So our grades are not released to the company.
Mhm.
So that's for anything other than investment banking and finance. So
Okay.
if anyone is interested in finance and is interested in investment banking, know that you will have to study and you have to get good grades in finance, accounting, and all of these things. Like grades matter for some roles. Like for finance, it really does. For strategy, maybe not that much. They look into more like what were the gaps and what were you filling up, because they want a all round personality. But for finance, it matters.
For
And
consulting?
another thing about academic rigor, I will tell in Macooms is it is rigorous. Yes, it is rigorous because they have to teach you stuff
Mhm.
before you start applying for jobs. So I was thrown into like what I was saying, accounting and finance in my first semester, which I was struggling with. But the good thing here is the professors are not here to fail you. Like that's the first slide of my accounting professor, that hey, your priorities, and he's an Indian guy. His first slide was your priorities in Macooms is get a job, recruit, do this, do that, party, this, that, and finally grades.
Grades.
Like it's more important for you to study and understand accounting than to get grades. If you want grades, he said, I'll even if you fail in the last exam, I'll give you a retest and you can score good grades. But
Hmm.
learn accounting, that is more important. And I really loved this course because of this, and I actually studied because of that. So it's completely on you what you want to do. If you don't want to study, don't study. There's a thing called academic probation which you will get. You can even clear that out, but it's the courses here are so good that you will want to. I can guarantee you that you will want to study. The courses here are so
Got
good.
it. But even for consulting and MBB firms, is grades not that important? Got it. That's interesting because I think it's completely opposite in India, where at ISB they look at grades specifically. So I think that's really interesting.
There's some policy in which consulting firms don't. If you have good standardized scores, that helps out in the application. Like you can mention that,
Okay.
but that's not their ultimate, yeah, thing.
Got Got it. I think I've taken too much of your time. So just final two
No,
questions
no,
from my end, Ajit.
yeah,
One is I want to talk a little bit about the economy. Okay. Everyone is a little worried about what's
yeah,
really
yeah.
going on in US. And again, the statistics and all speaks for themselves, right? And we see not a good sort of placements when it comes to B schools. What's
Yeah.
your experience like? What's going on at McCombs?
Yeah. So, to be very honest, right now, our second years, at least the Indian students that I like, the second year Indians that I keep track of, they're
Mhm.
doing pretty good. We are seeing good. We have seen good. So what happened is we didn't see very good intern results. Okay,
Yeah.
from my second year batch, like not we. I won't say not very good. It was the first time that they said that we had to like wait for a long time to get our internships. So that was what I heard from them.
Mhm.
And this year they got full-time roles were offered a lot. So full-time roles is going good. Some, I think EY and some firms delayed their start date. I don't know what's going on there.
Okay.
But this year, when I am like, this is what I'll give you my first-hand information only. I don't want to give you second-hand
Definitely.
information. So first-hand information is that recruiters have told us this year that they are now starting to build a pipeline for like coming years. So we can expect a lot more full-time roles next year. So
Okay.
because we have been asking this question as well to our recruiters. So let's see. We are hoping like we have gotten good responses. And secondly, like the most important thing I would say is no matter what economy, no matter what is happening,
Mhm.
it like the firms that I am talking with, every like you need to have some kind of a specialty or a background, like that golden era of MBA where everyone came with like no background and got the dream job that they wanted in Google, like coming from nowhere. That era is gone. um,
Okay.
you need to have some background. Like if I found that, hey, product marketing is something that I have done, and I can have good conversations, and I can fit myself in some role, then then there are like then you are fit for a job. So the thing is, there are a lot more people
Mhm.
applying for roles. So the candidates who were more exploratory are getting lesser jobs than candidates who are coming in with a little bit of more experience. That's the key thing that has changed over the years. So I'm seeing like people who have come from some tech background are getting somewhere. Consulting is always a more generalist role. So
Mhm.
there is a lot of competition for consulting now. Like it wasn't so much before, but there is a lot of competition for consulting now.
Mhm.
Good thing is, I think consulting is going to go up. Economy is looking better. Everyone I'm talking to at all the firms are have told me that, hey, we are looking for people. Like there's a lot more. And how like the private equity and deals and all this stuff, if it starts picking up again, that they're recruiting. So investment banking is recruiting very heavy this year.
Mhm.
Consulting is recruiting very heavy this year, and these are industries which go one cycle before the whole business recovers. So it's going pretty good, but I will give only this one caveat, that don't think about don't think about overall economy, man. Like it's very
Mhm.
wide to think of. Think about what job you are targeting and what's going on there. Are there Go on, like if you want to go into Google, that's your aim. Go on Google. There's a MBA internship job is there, and you can see what is their preferred requirements. If you have those preferred requirements, hey, then you are good for that role. Then you don't need to worry about the economy, because you are specialized enough about the role. So be confident on yourself. There are enough roles out there. Like roles are out there. You need to be specialized enough for those roles.
Got it. Got it. I think, if I just feel like we can go on and on and on. You are
Yeah.
really sharing some amazing insights today, and I hope everyone will benefit from this. But Jeet, tell me what's next with you. What are you excited about? What's going on at campus right now? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I am right now. Right now, to be very honest, we are like at a very peak moment of recruiting. This is the time that we have like talked to everyone, that we are talking to people a lot, and now we are dropping a resume. So from a recruiting standpoint, that's where I am.
Mhm.
From a non-recruiting standpoint, we have a lot of festivities coming up. Very excited. We have International Week next week. I'm dancing on. I'm representing India in the dance team in that.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing. There's going to be different countries putting up stalls, and it's like a flagship event which happens at Makums. And after that, there's like Thanksgiving coming, so everyone is hosting like dinners and stuff. There's Christmas coming, a lot of things, lot of these festivities coming up. And apart from that, I'm really looking forward to next sorry, spring semester, because like I've taken a course here called Opportunity Identification and Analysis. So
Okay.
it's a course taught by a professor here called Professor Doggett, who is like very famous for like help. So because I'm very entrepreneurial, like that class is known to be it's a 1.5 hour class which happens like once a week, and it's just exploring your idea, and he will force you to keep on exploring your idea. And I don't know what turns out of it, and I've heard a lot from second years, but there are some very interesting classes you can take here. That's what I'm looking for. And next year I want to go for a global trip.
Mhm.
There are some amazing global trips also here. This year they're going to Bali, Spain, Italy.
Mhm.
You can do exchange in London, things like that. But it's very like right now focusing on recruiting, looking at that in second year. So yeah, that's
Are
also
these like
something I'm
project
looking
trips
for.
or more like vacations? The global trips.
Uh, Yeah, so they count as credits. So it's actually pretty amazing. Like there's two kind of trips, three kind of trips. One is you can go for the whole semester. So for that you'll have to apply to that business school and kind of do an exchange.
Okay.
Second, there is this things called Makums Plus global projects, in which every trip has something associated with it. Like Italy was about I think brand something,
Mhm.
but basically you take a class associated with that trip for like some weeks, and then you go for that trip for a week. And like those are amazing trips. Like they have relationship with companies there. So the Italy trip, they have relationship with AS Roma, there is Ferrari and all those fashion brands that I didn't know, but I wanted to go for that football match. And yeah, so that's pretty cool, and that takes up 2 credits, so it's kind of a class plus a trip. And yeah, there's some short trips as well, like the treks kind of which happen. So if you're interested in some club, they organize some trips, shorter 4 5 days trip as well. That's not a credit, that's a part of your experience.
Perfect, perfect. Jeet, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank
I
you.
could, it was such a joy chatting with you, and I could feel your
Yeah.
energy here. You literally transported us, into the Macooms vibe, and
No worries.
I am a little bit jealous, about your journey. I could really feel if I could go back and do my MBA once again. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope everyone else also got a taste
Yeah,
of what it means to be a Macomb student. But
yeah.
thank you again, Jeet, for doing this. I really appreciate you taking me.
Just the last thing I would say is, to be very honest, Makums is doing very good, because we are seeing our rankings climb as well,
Mhm.
and companies are telling us that a lot of them are moving to Austin, which you can mention in your application as well.
Okay.
Very famously, obviously, Elon Musk is building his own whole empire out here, but a lot of companies are coming here. It's the Texas economy is very strong. For anyone interested in finance, Houston, Texas Stock Exchange is something which is very relevant, and is something which might come up in the US. So this might become a very big financial hub. So it's a very exciting place in Texas to be in Texas right now. To be yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I'm sure the location itself adds so much to the vibe of the campus, and I think
Yeah.
it's exciting times ahead right now for McCombs and also the Austin location. But again, Jeet,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time, and I really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye bye.